welcome to our third episode of Talks on Tuesday, this November 3rd, 2020, Election Day here in the United States. And I am speaking this week to Charity Kiriinya, the one, the only, the General Manager of Foothold Operations in Kenya. I recorded this last week at about 4 a.m. and we had some little technical glitches along the way. I wanted to let you know that I will be posting a version of this with subtitles and with some additional kind of footnotes. But I thought this was just too good to delay, and so I wanted to put that out today. But look for that in the next day or so, just if you're interested and following along and making sure you understand all that we're talking about. So without any more being said, let's talk with Charity.
There's one question I wanted to ask you. So, when you think of so many things that Kwendaleza does, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And what is the thing that you feel the most proud of, that you think makes the biggest difference, that you get really energized when you're
That's
doing? I know
that's a
you.
very
Yeah, I know.
that's a very tough question, but to me, mm, there is nothing that we do that I don't feel like it's making impact.
Okay.
But to me, when it comes to soap and jasiri pad, I know when we do this, I feel like we are touching so many lives, and it touches me the most.
Mm.
And it's like everything. Now here comes Masai school, and when I go there and see women carry their books, leave their kids at home, come and when they are eager to learn more, when they are eager to interact more, when they are
Wow.
eager to digest new things, the more it moves my heart. Yeah. Because now I know, because I was telling myself now that this is the thing. Because maybe when a woman is empowered, the whole household is empowered. They can know maybe how to, maybe why should I not use maybe laundry soap even for bathing? Why should I use the bathing soap for bathing? Why should I maybe, how can I take good care of my pad? You see?
Mhm.
So to me, it's that question is so challenging. It's like everything, but everything that, when we come up with something new and we go for it, it breaks me. It's like now you're moving from better to best. Yeah, maybe it's like you're moving from one glory to another.
Mm.
Yes.
We're all,
But
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Charity.
actually, the way I interact so many times. I'm sorry.
No, continue. I interrupted you.
So, to me, it's not about maybe
Oh.
even making soap. It's even the clean water. It's not about the school. It's about the impact we are making to the lives of those vulnerable people. To those people that don't know, maybe who can we reach to? Who can we go to?
Mm.
But when we go to their levels and maybe show them the way. You see, to me, when I look at Foothold and Quentereza Africa, to me, it's like Jesus wanting to die for our sins, us that were not, worthy. And here comes Jesus who's saying, okay, I'll take away your sins. And so that maybe when you go down on your knees and pray, when you call upon me, I'll be there answering, I'll be there, listening. So to me, that is all about Foothold, because now we've gone to their level. We can understand them, we can listen. When you come, you sit there with them, and when they look at you and they say, oh gosh, this, this mama, this woman who is, wanting to listen and coming to our level, going to that liver, wanting
Mm.
to use our soap. looking at our pad, and now sitting in the class and teaching us. So to me, it blows my mind off, Sherry, to be sincere. Yeah, to be sincere.
I just watching you, I think you love so much being around the Namalok ladies. Like that seems like you just if it, even if you didn't do this work, you would just love to spend time with
Yeah.
them because they I mean, when I look at you and I both have been through difficult times with people who
Yes.
we've been through conflict, with other
Yes.
women and other groups.
Yes.
And when you see these
Mm.
women together, it almost like seems unreal how well they get along with each other, how
Yeah.
much they're going through, how hard their lives are, and yet they just get along so well. And I think that always
Yeah.
gives me hope that we can do better around the world as women, getting
Exactly.
along and working together and changing our communities. And
Yes. Yeah. Especially like today, that is why I was late to come to the meeting because we were to start meeting at 9.
hmm
I was there yesterday at Maasai school, and
hmm
I did meet with some women. So Irene called me, and she was telling me how they miss us. In fact, she told me to say
oh,
hi to you.
Irene and Njoro.
Feel-
Irene.
Yes, she called me
Okay.
this morning. Yeah,
Oh,
Irene, Mama Lawrence, and
yeah, Mama
the
Lawrence.
charity.
Yes.
They are, yeah, and the Anna the charity. I told them I'm coming to talk with you, and they told me to say hi to you. They have missed you.
Oh,
They were asking me, when was Sheriff coming?
I know.
Yeah,
Oh.
and in fact, somebody like Irene was reminding me of the things I told them. I think it was even last year, but one. And she was telling me, you don't know, you people, you don't know as ladies how much the impact you've made in our lives. Because she was telling me so many times, maybe when I'm down, when I am stressed, I usually remember our conversation together. So that is why I'm saying maybe per se, it's not about maybe coming and doing the stuff we do together, but even sitting down and talking with them and giving them hope and telling them, when you do this, you see, we don't know where God will take this. So even usually coming there and sitting down with them, maybe even not, sometimes you're not talking too much, but when you come and sit down with them and they look at you, you see, they see a role model. They see a woman who wants to lift other women, you see.
Mm.
Yeah, and we talked a lot, and I couldn't even remember what I was telling them anyway, but she was telling me, don't know how much you help us. You don't know. Yeah, and sincerely, she didn't even tell me what that one was.
Well,
But
but do you tell them how much they encourage us? Like, how much do they know how much they inspire us? Do they know that at all?
they think we don't. They don't inspire us, but it is us who inspires them. And I was telling them, no, 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 no. When we look at you, we see strong women,
Exactly.
women who can stand and build their families, and women who can be role model to their children, and women who are there to build the nation, because not every woman can live in such a place anyway. Yeah, it's
Exactly.
hot, the weather is not conducive, no water, yet you're there and you're pushing on.
Yeah.
And the vigor that you have for the projects, the soap, right now, like today they are making soap, they're making soup today. So
Mm.
I was telling them, you don't know even you how much you inspire me, how much you make me move each day at a time.
Mm.
Because I was telling them, not every day you're cheerful and you are going up about your business. Sometimes you are down.
Mm.
Sometimes there are so many discouragement and you feel like, oh gosh. And I was telling her, "Dog, you make my day. You make me move, you make me go an extra mile."
Yes. I think of all, I mean, when I'm with them, it gives me so much hope, that
Yeah.
if and whenever I'm feeling weak or discouraged, I think of all the challenges they face and how hard
Yes.
they work and how much joy they have. Um, and I think they find so much joy together.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Mm.
they need to be together, and I
Ye-
imagine like that's really what church is. That's what fellowship is,
Yes.
and they are experiencing that fellowship on such a deep level that most of us
Yes.
never understand. And I think part of that is their vulnerability and their courage to be honest with each other and lift each other up. And I'm sort of jealous in a way. I want to have I want to have a group like that.
Yeah.
How can I not be? It's just they're amazing.
Yeah. And like yesterday, in fact, in Tabata, it's so, 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 so hot.
Oh, things
The
are tough there,
temperatures are
right?
really high.
Hmm.
Yeah, and when you go there, even the road going from when you enter the tarmac road to Njoro, it's so
Is it?
dusty. It's so, so, so dusty. Even the motorcycle cannot go through that road now. It's
That's
so
tough for
dusty.
them not being
And
that's probably
yes,
causing more challenges, the road condition then.
yeah. And when I went there, somebody, I don't know, somebody lit fire at the park where they were taking their kettles to graze at such a time like now. So there is no grass in the park.
Oh
There
no.
is nothing, nothing, nothing.
Oh
And
no.
yesterday we had an open conversation with them, and I was asking them, now, what are you doing?
Mhm.
No grass in the park for your cattle, nothing, no water. And they were telling me they usually wake up at 4 in the morning and then go almost to Lake Ichipe and find some grass for their cattle. And you know how many they are. And they come carrying on their back. And to me, it was like, gosh, if we could have such maybe women in the world who can stand, what they are going through, because not even me can do that anyway. I can't. To me, when maybe the ditch is there, I'm weak. But them, they are waking up. Go look for water, food. There is no food right now there, no milk, no food for cattle. Yet they are moving on and they're attending the classes. You see, they
And
are
they're
doing all
attending
that about
classes.
two.
In
Yes,
face of
at
those
2 they were.
challenges, they're still
Yes, with all
going to
these
class.
challenges. Yeah. So to me, they are my superheroes. Yeah, they're my heroes. Yeah, I don't tell you people the things that you do.
Mhm.
Not so many women can do that. Not even
No.
so many men. Because when it comes to men, they are there.
And they would just
Eh?
watch them.
Watching, they're not even there, struggling with them. No man will do that. No Maasai man will do that. Maybe few.
Yeah.
They will go to town and eat meat and good food and come back without minding the women. Yeah.
So are there people who are saying, "Okay, this would be a good time to sell some of my cattle?" Are some of the Maasai doing that because many of them are probably going to die, these cattle, under these conditions? No.
Ma-
Mm-mm.
cattle or cows belong to men.
Yeah.
So maybe no man can dare tell the husband, sell your cows. So many,
Yeah, I know.
no man will tell another man, sell, and the wife in the house. Maybe even when he tells the husband, maybe we sell these cows. No, but they won't listen. They won't listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Which is,
won't
I
listen.
remember when we met with Lakatu, and he had
Yeah,
said, he tries to encourage them in times like this to sell because they're all going, I mean, many are going to die. It would be better to sacrifice, to slaughter a few to protect,
yeah,
there's so little food and water that they're going to be worse off. And so, but it's hard to convince them. Yeah, no one's going to convince
yeah.
them to that right now.
Yeah. Because the reasoning is that why should you tell me to sell my cows so that I can have less cows than you?
Yeah, like you're tricking them, right? Is that
Yes, like you're tricking them. You don't want them to have wealth. So
Hmm,
I would rather keep my cows and die and watch them die than sell.
hmm.
Yeah, that is how they are.
I was
Mm.
talking with my sister about our talk with them about cervical cancer this time last year, a little bit earlier. And
Yes.
I wondered how
Yeah.
things were going there. Had anything changed? We talked about them getting screenings and the HPV vaccination and all those things. Has anything improved?
Nothing has improved because when COVID-19 came in,
Yeah.
it's like the government forgot about AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
They forgot about cancer, HIV, and everything up to date.
Mm.
Yeah, they have not done those screening again.
Oh,
No.
so there's no, and that's what I've heard. I've been watching in the news around, Africa, that
Yeah,
a lot of vaccines and things like that have just, they're very afraid, especially with young
yeah,
children, not getting their vaccinations on time because of the fears of
yeah,
COVID.
yeah,
But the good news was when I was there, um, in March,
yeah.
the HPV vaccination was available in Taveta.
Even the government didn't campaign that time, and they were telling us if you're from 10 years to 16 years and you're virgin, come for that vaccine.
Did
Yeah.
many of the Maasai girls do that?
Not many,
Yeah. Okay.
not many, because they were not sensitized about that. And sometimes it's even maybe a taboo to
Mhm.
go. It's just like even when they're expectant, it's not many of them go for checkup in the hospital.
Right.
No, not
Right.
many of them.
But the ladies
So many
do.
of
The
them.
Nemlock ladies are educated about these things, right?
Yeah, it's unless they're educated, but many
Mhm.
of them, number of ladies we've interacted with them and
Yes.
we talk so many things with them, and there are other tribes that interact with them, so they discuss. But when it comes to an that native Maasai
Yeah.
uh, woman or girl,
Mhm.
some don't even go, and I
Yeah.
don't think they have gone for that vaccine. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
We have more work to do, don't we? What do you think? I'm just going to ask this just thinking about it. Like, we did a clinic there before.
Yeah,
Do you think it would be possible to do like a vaccination clinic?
yeah, we
Yeah.
can.
I mean, we could do it at pastor's church or, somewhere, and um it seems like wouldn't that would be something that we could probably raise some funds for,
Yes.
and just do it. I'd love to be there, but I'd rather the good thing happen and not wait a
Hello, Cherie.
yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So another question I have for you. So the Messiah, tell me, I know this, but this is for people watching. Um, tell me about the Maasai and um, the one thing you've said a lot about them is that they're very conservative and they're very,
Yes.
like, I would use the word skeptical about
Yes.
outsiders. They don't let
Mhm.
people in, and they don't. So what happened in this area that has made them so receptive to us and accepting and
Okay, when it comes to it's their tradition,
yeah.
it's their culture. They are not supposed to integrate or to talk with
Mm,
not only you guys, even other tribes, because they thought maybe when you come to their tribe, when you
mhm.
come to and interact with their ladies, you are going to maybe to teach them bad manners. Maybe you're going to teach them how to wear clothes, which is a taboo.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll teach them your other cultures outside, which they think it's a bad one.
Okay.
Maybe you're going to teach them like a woman like me, maybe they think if this woman comes here, she's going to teach our wives and our girls how to disobey their husbands.
Okay.
Because a Maasai woman does not have a voice.
Right.
They don't have a voice. They don't have a say.
Right.
And to the Maasai tradition, it's when you are told maybe go and kill yourself, that is the way things should be.
Wow.
No asking questions. Yeah, maybe you teach them how to do a family planning. Why should you have 10 kids when you're unable to bring them up? But
Yeah.
to men, you should not use family planning. You should give me as many boys as you can so
Yeah.
that I can have people who will be taking care of my cows. And for girls, have as many as you can because that is a property to me. It's an asset. I can sell my cows and get more cows.
Mhm.
So that is why they are conservative, yes.
Mhm.
And maybe to the women, because that is the way they when they were born, that is how they knew things, not talking with strangers.
Mhm.
And for you to penetrate in that community, you have to maybe be very careful and go through a village, not even a village elder, a Maasai elder, and discuss with him what you want to do. But when it comes to us, Foothold and Kuendeleza Africa, I think we were blessed because we had Pastor
Yes.
Isaiah, who is a bit different. He's a bit
Mhm.
different with the other Maasai people,
Right.
and through him, we were able to reach out to them. Yeah,
Yeah, I think he has made all the difference. You know, he's so well respected in his community, and he's
exactly.
educated, and they don't feel threatened by him. They really respect him. And I think it's this approach. You know, when we met with him and he talked about as a child being forced to go to school, like the same era that Lakatu talked about, being forced, like kidnapped into
Yes.
going to school. And they both expressed that they were
Yeah.
grateful that happened, but that was so traumatic, and it set their family back in so many ways. Be It makes sense why they tell their kids not to talk to people, right? Because you could be snatched by the government or whatever.
Yeah.
And but Pastor Isaiah and Lakatu, just talking to them, their approach is to reason and treat them with honor, and to start with common ground, like we agree on these things. And he always said you had to honor
Yeah.
their cows first, and then you could
Yeah,
talk
exactly.
about and so he doesn't, he really it seems like his approach, even when we were there a couple years ago when we stayed at their place, that morning he was going with the elders, visiting home to home, inquiring about boys who weren't in school. But he said, we're not doing it in a way that is judging them or criticizing them. That he, is let's talk about this. What is happening here? And let's, can we consider the benefits? Can we
Yeah.
consider ways to manage this? And so I think his gentle approach um, gave us an opportunity. And then, we did some things before we even really interacted with you so much, so
Yeah.
like we did the veterinary clinic,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
and so I think that was, I mean, we didn't realize how important that was.
And I think to me, that is what helped even Kuendeleza Africa and Foothold to reach out to them. Because Maasai community and cows, it's like it's their second god. It's
Yeah.
their second god. So maybe when you go with medicine for cows and for goats, then they say the savior has come, so they can sit down and yeah, they can sit down and listen to
Yeah.
you. But
Yeah.
maybe when you go and you criticize their culture, they won't listen to you. They won't.
Exactly.
they won't. Yeah,
But the amazing thing was, I mean, this two things. Whenever I talk with other organizations who work with the Maasai, they're
yeah,
shocked that we are in their community because most of
yes,
them only work with the men who are allowed to leave. It's very
yes,
rare that organizations, outside organizations, work with the women. Um, and that we were able to even like stay at their place, like that's something most when we talked to Africa Impact, none of them had ever been
yeah,
to a village.
yeah,
And so and they'd been doing this work for some time, so it is pretty remarkable. um but they're changing so many things, the ones that we're interacting with. They're
yeah,
just I'm surprised how quickly they're open to change. I think that's the part that's so exciting. More so than even other groups in Tibet. Like I'm thinking about Chala and how difficult that area was to work,
yeah,
to get people to understand that their water was killing them, and there was an inexpensive and sustainable way, and so many of them just refused, and yet these Maasai who are so traditionally known as closed-minded and difficult are,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, not even, there's so many, organizations like maybe Red Cross and so many, but not many of them have gone to the Maasai community. And to me, even sometimes there's a day they were telling us that we should go and build a house there so that we can be living with them. Yeah, so to me it's a plus.
yes.
To me it's still the approach. You don't go judging their culture, you don't go criticizing their culture, even though deep down you want to change them. So
Yeah.
you use a different approach. You become friends first, and you go treat their cows, and then they open their door for you, and then you can deposit whatever you have to them. Yeah.
One thing Pastor Sampson said to us once that really I can't believe I was surprised by this. Well, how important it was for us to eat their food. Do you want to
Yes.
talk about that? Like what that means to them that we ate their food?
Yeah, I remember that day.
Like, I'm so grateful that
And that chicken meat, yeah. When you go to any Maasai culture, and in fact, most of even us, the Africans, when you come to our homes, you have to eat something. You can't say, okay, I'm not eating this. And
Mhm.
when it comes to Maasai culture, when they give you the sour milk, you remember the milk,
Oh my god.
and they give you maybe ugali or something.
Yeah.
Even though you feel like you like puking, you have to take, because the moment they realize you don't want to eat their food, they won't listen to you. So
Mm.
the first thing they do to you is give you something to eat, to see if you'll be able to eat their food. And if you won't, then they have no business of listening to you.
It's like a
Yeah.
test, isn't it?
Because when you eat their food, it's, oh, yeah. When you take their food, it's like, oh, she's so happy with us, and we cook so nice, and now this, now you cease to be a stranger, you cease to be a visitor. Now you come their brother and their sister. Yeah.
Wow. Um, I just think
Mm.
about, um, you know, there's many people. It's our cultures are so different, in this country, and so I
Yeah.
think sometimes when visitors come, it isn't that. I know Pastor had talked
Mhm.
about that if especially the Messiah are sensitive, if you don't eat their food, they think that it's an insult that you think they're dirty or you think they're lower than you. And so eating their food is a
Exactly.
way of saying
Yes, you're
I
conditional.
I
Yes.
trust you, I respect you, I'm partaking of your food. Um, and but I think sometimes Americans who come may say no because they're thinking in their minds are thinking these are poor people
I
and they
know.
should keep their food and I don't
Yeah.
want to take food from them. And so, we have to
Yes.
we have to talk about that with people before they come because I think even though
Yes.
try to sensitize people to that issue, when they come they still freeze sometimes like
Yeah.
this looks different. Americans eat Americans eat terrible food, but it's all clean, or they think it's clean, and so they're so annoying, Americans
Yeah.
are, about their diet. And so, you know, do you know the story when Mel and I were in Chala and we were eating at Peter's house and she didn't like the
Mm.
food? And
Uh,
she doesn't like tea so much, and so she was like
yeah.
sliding her food over to me and I was eating it for her, and we thought we were really slick. And then when we were leaving, Peter pulled her aside and said, I saw you weren't eating the food. And he was like crying, and oh, she felt so
You do
terrible.
like my food.
You didn't like my food.
I remember Ben gave me a piece of meat that day we at Masai. Then I remember, but I
Mm.
enjoyed.
Mm. Well,
You
Namalak
know,
ladies
it's
are
different
very good
culture.
cooks, though. They are good cooks. Like,
Yeah,
I love all of their food. So,
yeah. But like us, we understand it's different culture. Maybe the food
right.
that you people eat, it is not.
Hmm.
It's okay. But when maybe you go down there, you have to maybe, even though you won't eat a lot of food, it's not going to say no, just take a
Hmm.
little bit, and then you
Exactly.
explain to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they also understand. They say, okay, maybe in our place we don't eat food like this because it's my first time. Let me take a bit of it. Yeah, but you should tell them you're enjoying the food because they'll be watching your face.
So,
They'll be
when I was,
watching.
oh my gosh. So, when I was in, did I tell you the story? Pastor Pontian, when I was in Windani, they served this, oh,
The
oh,
traditional Taita food.
it was so
The taking of
dry.
the food.
It was so dry. And they wouldn't, you weren't allowed to take water. You had to eat it, and it wasn't clean. Like, it wasn't clean. It looked like you could, and it was dark so you couldn't see, but when you were crunching, you knew it was like dirt in it. Like, it wasn't good. It was really bad. And I didn't know these people. And so pastors, like, they won't let you leave until you eat all of this.
Yeah.
So they had this gourd and it was like keeping over, and I'm trying to eat it and not choke because it's like stuck in my throat. And so they offer it to after they heaped my bowl, like so much food. They
Yeah.
go to Pastor Pontian and he says to them, there are people starving right now, and this makes me sad. So just give me
Yeah.
a little bit.
And then
So he only ate I wanted to punch him because he had this little bowl because he knew he could have protected
and
me. He could have said, "Oh, just a little bit." But because they
yeah.
served me this big bowl, I had to eat all of it. It was awful. It was the worst thing.
I think he could have said you've already eaten because you know that food you ate, it is a Taita traditional food.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called manga. So I pity you, but I can't
But
help to
he
love
was having
Cherie.
fun with me. He could have he told me I had to eat that much. So he was being funny with me and laughing about it. So it was a bad trick cuz
Ah,
he said
that's
you
bad.
and then when it was his turn he's like, "Oh, just give me a little bit." And but you have to eat all of it. He's so
Ah, that's
angry.
bad manners. That's bad manners.
No, he thought he was funny. So, one thing we when we were there last year with Mel was with us. We when we had that
Yeah,
talk with the ladies, a lot of issues came out. And you were really good at talking with them about really personal questions, and they seemed so comfortable.
yeah, I
And they were
remember.
talking about, they were talking about the female issues, and they were talking
Yeah,
about sex,
yeah,
and so, I was so surprised. One of the things that bothers me a lot about what's going on in that culture is how
yeah,
men force themselves on women. And we would say
yeah,
that's rape, but they don't see it as rape, you know? um and so I want to just you have said too, like how the women are just so, men and women there are so ignorant about their
yeah,
sexuality, and
yeah,
yet they force themselves, and then there's all these problems. And so, one of the things we did with the Cherie project helped to address that problem. So what do you see? Do you see things changing in that area around the issues of gender-based violence and sexual abuse and those things? I know you have lots to say about this.
to me, I'll divide that. Yeah, I'll divide that into two. Because one, when it comes to maybe gender-based violence, that one has reduced significantly because now the woman is empowered. So when the man comes in the house and you want to bring trouble, nobody will ask them for food because now I can afford to buy my own food. Maybe when
Ooh.
it comes to, yeah, to buying books for my kids, I'm not going to ask you for books. I can buy for me, for them. Yeah. Maybe they have sold soap and somebody has taken, they do the merry-go-round, and I have the money. I have maybe like 1,000 shillings. Why should I ask you for money to buy food and I can afford? So the men will not find a way of maybe battering their wife. Men will not find a way of courting their wife because they meet a wife who is already done with him. You meet a wife who already has food. You meet a wife who has already have soap. You meet a wife who has already paid for themselves. So that one has gone down significantly. Yeah, because now the women are
Wow.
getting up, they are getting empowered, they are
Mhm.
moving on, they know they interact with other ladies,
Uh-huh.
and they are told now you have to, you are right. Nobody should, fight you. Yeah, I know where I can go. Maybe I can go to the village elder, to the village leaders. I can go to police. I can also maybe invite other ladies, and I can go to other ladies and talk about them. I can discuss with them the
Mhm.
issues that are pressing me about maybe my marriage. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that one has gone down significantly.
Wow, Charity, this is so crazy to me thinking about this because, my fear was that that was going to go badly. My fear was that when women became empowered, that the men would feel more disempowered and would be more violent, because that's what we have seen a lot of times in America, is that when a woman becomes empowered, then if the man may feel threatened and there may be more conflict. But you're saying that actually that empowerment has reduced
Yeah.
violence, has reduced
Yes.
conflict. Do the men
Yeah.
feel, they don't feel threatened by the fact that their wives are don't need them?
No, now the men will behave. Yeah.
Okay. So they're
They won't
submitting.
want, yeah, they won't want to fight because they know, okay, if I bring any fight, this woman can go and leave me and even won't miss me because she has her own money. She can pay school fees for her kids.
Yeah.
She can do her own stuff. So now they think that, okay, so now the women can even do without me. It's not a must I be there for her to survive. But in the past,
Wow.
they are becoming violent because maybe they would want to have maybe other affairs outside there, and the woman will keep quiet. Because if I talk, who will bring me maybe flour, who will bring me things, maybe sugar or the household stuff. So I'll keep quiet, and anything you'll be telling me, I'll be saying, no, okay, yes, yes, yes. But now, no. The women have a voice. They can speak. They can say, I don't want this. They can say, okay, if you continue, then this is the repercussion. Yeah. If you continue, maybe what I got from the group, I can go and start my own business. I don't want to keep cows, but I can keep chicken. I don't want to keep cows, but I can keep rabbits. You see,
Mm-hmm.
so women are getting empowered, and it's a good threat to men. To me, it's a good threat,
So it seems
because
like, yeah, like they're just respecting them, right?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it is either they are respecting them or they are fearing them. But it's working to the advantage of a woman. Why shouldn't you maybe get, somebody who hit you, go to the hospital, leave your children suffering? Yeah, so it's either one will fear you and the other one will respect you now that you can also support him to do the household stuff and even to support with the, children bring up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now another thing, the second one, it's about maybe the sex. That one is still there. Because when it comes to African woman, you can't say no, Cherie.
Mm.
And especially to a Maasai woman, where your thought, this a woman is a community thing, it's a community asset. So any man can come to you. You just come and leave your spear outside and you enter the house and finish your business and go. But okay, that one is also reducing. But maybe when it comes to the husband now, you can't say no. How? They, they were telling me the other day, their husbands, they come at night, and those rooms the way they are dark. They don't even know how the husband looks. And I was asking them, how do you do then? And they're telling me, no, you just, you know,
I
you
don't
just
think the
open your
women sound
Alexa
like
and
they're
it's there.
enjoying themselves. It doesn't sound like the women are
No,
enjoying that.
it's not about enjoying. It's about doing
Yeah.
the duty.
Yeah.
It's like you have to go to work, you have to cook, you have to do all that. The women's stuff. So even to them, sex is a woman's stuff. You
It's
can't
another
say no.
chore.
You can't say today maybe I'm not feeling well. No, just open your legs and get, and then they are done. Yeah, you can't say no
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to Maasai women.
Mm.
Yeah, they don't even don't know how their husbands look. Yeah, they're only given babies and that's that.
Wow. We still have work to do, don't we? But things are changing. So it sounds to me, and many times women exchange sex for the stuff they need, right? So I'm going to sleep with you, so
Yeah,
you'll bring me, flour and help pay the school fees, right? Like that seems
yeah,
like that. And so when the women don't need those things, they can say, nah. And so it sounds like, women exchanging sex for essential things, even amongst young girls,
yeah,
we've seen this happen, right? Like girls, when they need
yes,
pads, will prostitute or, you know, um,
yeah.
exchange sex for basic needs, survival, foodstuffs, things like that. And that's not just in the Maasai community, that's very common.
Yeah, because a woman who is not empowered, what do
Mm,
you think they would do? They have babies in the house that need food sharing.
mm-hmm,
They have girls who need pad. You, a mother, you don't have a soap. You don't have even the 5 shillings to buy water. What else do you think you do? You go to that man, and this man, sometimes they will even use them and give them nothing. Some will use you, beat you. If maybe this guy already had given you money, you ask you for his money back. So they're abused. And
Mhm.
sometimes they end up with nothing, not even without that money. Or
Mhm.
a man can come with something like, can use even like 10 cents dollar to you. You cannot compare maybe 10 cents, 15 cents dollar with your body. You
Mhm.
can't.
Mhm.
But now that is where we say that, like now what we are doing as Kuendeleza Africa or Foothold, where you empower a woman. Because when you empower a woman, even her dignity will come back. She won't, nobody, no man will threaten her. Maybe I won't give you sugar. Because she can afford that anyway. Why shouldn't I take yours? Maybe I can afford to buy clothes for my kids. I don't need yours. So even the dignity of a woman is coming back. And even when they go maybe to the community
Wow.
meeting, men are listening to them because they know, okay, it's true, this woman has done that and that. So I want to know what she did for her to be where she is today. So even men will, they will respect, and they'll give them even the leadership position in the community, which they were not able to
Wow.
do at first. Yeah, it's all about empowering women. It's all about maybe because when you give maybe when you give them soap, they just don't stick with soap. They come with
Mhm.
merry-go-round. They come with doing other stuff, and it's all about empowering them. And they are moving from one thing to another, which is
Yeah.
so encouraging. Yeah.
So I think I know we've got to get off here soon, but the last thing I want to ask you about is the Maasai men. You know, the Maasai school originally was the purpose of it was to target the men, and
Yes.
so I know we followed your lead, and it was right to work with the women first. And I was
Yeah.
afraid the men would be threatened by that, and that has not happened.
Yeah.
So, can you talk about why the Maasai school? Why did what is our ultimate goal with that when it comes to this community?
Why we are targeting men? It's because we wanted to men to know the importance of not just taking their children to school, but the importance of learning. Men, men will leave children to their wives,
Yeah.
and maybe they have gone to school and they don't have a book, they don't have a pen. So without now, how can we incorporate men to know the importance of their children staying in school, and not only maybe even staying in school. Why should they not take their children to go to park and craze?
Mhm.
Why should they maybe look for other older men who can take care of cows while their sons and daughters are in school? That is why we started the school. But
Mhm.
to my surprise, women are coming, and many of them are
Yeah.
coming. They are eager to learn also. Maybe they are eager to know, okay, I want to know the calculation so that maybe when my kid come home, can I help them with homework? Maybe when I go to women group and I'm given money, can I be able to calculate? Can I be able to write my name? Maybe women are going somewhere, maybe even it's about the things about maybe the seminars women go.
Mhm.
Can I be able to sit down and write and take notes? So apart
Mhm.
from men, women are coming up, and that is what even makes me happy most, because at a time like now, not many men are coming because they have gone with cows.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, but some of them are coming, and we want to reach out to as many men as we can,
Okay.
because we want them to know the importance of going to school. And still another thing, they keep cows. They have phone. Want them to use even smartphone to market their cows,
Mhm.
to sell them
Mhm.
the cows even outside Taveta. We
Yeah.
want them maybe to know, when I have this cow and this cow is sick, how will I know the medicine that I can buy?
Right,
So
right.
yeah, maybe apart from cows, because now the lands are becoming smaller, the parcels of land are becoming smaller. Can I keep a dairy cow more than these traditional cows?
Hmm.
Because now the yield is better than with the dairy cow than the traditional cows. So
Hmm.
you also want them slowly by slowly to move from their traditional ways and embrace even the new technology of marketing, of setting their goons. They
Hmm.
can also they can also maybe arrange meeting via maybe Zoom meeting or a WhatsApp meeting with other, Maasai community, not only in Taveta, but outside Taveta. And maybe they can talk about so many things, about maybe the new breed of cow that is coming in Kenya. Maybe what about the how are you selling your cows? Maybe not only in Taveta, but in Kajiado or Pokoti or any other part of Kenya, or even outside Kenya. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's not about maybe coming and reading and writing. It's also about the business opportunities.
So, because
Yeah,
that's what we've talked about. The Maasai men are not stupid, right? They're not I mean, it's just that they've not had the opportunity to learn. And so one of the things, you also scheduled the classes when I was there in the afternoons to give
yeah,
them time to graze their cattle, and also gave women a chance to come after they've
exactly.
done all of their household work. And so, when we learned some of the practices of the Maasai that were really abusive, sexual abuse to young women, at first I was so angry. I was so angry with, and then once we started, listening, right, and talking with, Pastor Isaiah and Stephen, and hearing what their childhood was like, and understanding that these young men have experienced so much trauma themselves
Yeah,
and have
yeah,
not
exactly.
experienced nurturing or attachment,
Yeah,
and that they've lacked the guidance and the socialization that many of the girls received. And I think that kind of helped me have some empathy for them and realize, if we want to stop this problem, then we need to find a way to help them, to
yeah,
be more human, to be more understanding of what the damage they're doing. I mean, how would they know,
yes,
honestly? um, they're just behaving the way that they have been, you know told to behave. I mean, to me, I was thinking that these ritual, abuse that happens, how many of these young men
yeah,
are so confused in the midst of that, and are traumatized themselves about what they're being told to do to these young women. And so that kind of changed. I think we have so much to learn here in America about what's happening right there in this village, because we've done a good job recently of talking about sex abuse or talking about harassment, but we haven't done a good job at all of how do we teach abusers not to become abusers? How do we and so that's what this Maasai school is doing in a in a gentle way,
yeah,
and the women feeling empowered to say no, because if the women say nothing, the men think, oh, she's okay with this. Um and and so the women are
yeah,
now telling them, no, I don't want this, and I don't need this. And so um I just think it's amazing how that part is changing, that we're addressing
yeah,
the men, and in the end they have needs. It's not a, what they I mean, Moses talked about how lonely it is as a Maasai man, being living this isolated life, going out into the bush at a young age. All of that is very
yeah,
difficult and traumatic and
yeah,
very lonely. And so
exactly.
and they don't know how to connect, right? They don't have experience other than sex on how to connect
Yeah,
with.
Yeah, you know, when maybe when you're talking when we talk about this, I just think like it's like maybe an American who has never maybe take. I know you know ugali,
Yes.
but what about how can you describe somebody who has never seen ugali? How ugali maybe it's cooked, it's served, or it's eaten? You know, there are some things you cannot be able to
Mm.
understand. So the same case with the Maasai men. It is the way they met things, and it's the way they know their traditional dictates. There is nothing they can do about it. But now, maybe when it comes to people like us or to any other person, now that is where we come in and we start a relationship. And now you start from there. Yeah, maybe because you cannot tell them, maybe when a woman goes to fetch water, don't touch her. Why should I not touch her? It is the way things are. The woman does not belong to one man. The
Mhm.
woman belongs to the community.
Mhm.
Maybe don't touch the girl, or maybe when they dance, they go to dance at night there, and the girls go join them and dance. And you know, after the dance, what they do, maybe a girl can be taken like 5 boys. So why should you tell them not to take? Why should you tell 5 boys not to take one girl? And it is the way they met things. It is the way things are. But now maybe when you come there, and now you start, teaching them. You tell them that diseases also. There are things like cancer, there are things like AIDS. It's not even ethical. Maybe have one wife. So you start from there and you start like maybe pruning them. You start like maybe you're taking the stuff that they were taught as a child from them, and you start now planting like new seeds over their life. Yeah.
Well, what's funny and ironic is that we're sort of doing the very thing they're afraid of, right? Like we've come in and the women are empowered and they're
Yeah.
changing, but that's we're they're doing exactly the thing that they're afraid of letting people in, and
Yeah.
yet they seem very happy about what they're
Yeah.
doing and very willing. And so it's like you said, the approach, it's
Yeah.
all in the approach, but you can
Right.
understand why some people may be, you know. So we have a new teacher. I want to hear about
Yeah.
this new teacher and how it's, and I know he's doing school differently with COVID and all the challenges right now. So can you tell me about what that looks like? And I saw a few pictures.
Yes. I was to talk about him. I
Yes.
think that is I think the beauty of this school now, because when you are talking about a Maasai man, I'm remembering this teacher is called Samuel. He's a Maasai guy. It dresses differently, and to me, is even the best person to reach out to other Maasai men.
Hmm.
Because even when I was there, the women, they were looking at him with maybe such admiration, and maybe they were telling them, I wish all Maasai men could be like this one. And he was, in fact,
Is he married?
he was sitting, I don't even know. I think he's married. He must
Oh
be
my.
married. That,
This
yeah.
okay.
But now you behave differently. And now he's reaching out
Wow.
to so many out there for them. He's talking even Maasai with them, and he was encouraging them to come to school. He's going even where the men are grazing and teaching them.
Mhm.
Yeah. So maybe to me, I thought to have him working for us is a advantage.
Absolutely.
It is I don't know. It's like I can give that 190%. Because now you will be able to reach out to so many women, you'll be able to reach out to so many women. You can interact with them with their Maasai dialect. You can uh,
Mhm.
you can go there and their culture. And when you have one man like that one in that community, it's like we have like countrymen. Yeah, because now it was, yeah, yesterday, like he was not talking about only maybe how to read and write. He was even empowering them to do businesses.
Hmm.
And I was shocked for the first time in my life to stand and listen to a Maasai man talking to women and telling them,
Oh.
don't look at cows only, do other things. Because when it comes to Maasai man and woman, they are like two different. It's like east and west.
Yeah. So do you think the men
Yeah,
once
men cannot stay where women are.
do you think once the rains return and things aren't as dry, do you think the men are going to come back to the school like they were
Yeah, they will. It's not waiting for them to come to the households in the evening, and he's teaching them. And to me, slowly by slowly, these men I know, will have a very big change upon their lives.
hmm.
Yeah,
I cannot wait to meet him. I can't wait to see this. I mean, I don't want to talk about, I mean, the teacher we had before was an excellent teacher and it was a good start and he did a good job, but this is so much
yeah,
better of a fit for this community
exactly,
and it
exactly.
was my I really was it was my heart to see a Maasai teacher, I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
so because I just I know in the schools they tried to break up the tribalism, but in this
yeah,
community and this Maasai communities, there's a real need to have Maasai teachers, you know,
exactly. Yeah,
because they're unique
because
needs.
not every, yeah, because the Maasai, not every Maasai knows how to speak Swahili, and the
Yes.
other teacher could not speak Maasai. But this one can speak both Swahili, can speak Maasai, and can speak English.
Wow. What an
So
advantage
yeah,
right there.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. And with him, he knows where their homesteads are. You know where the Maasai Manyatas are, even deep down there. Yeah.
mhm.
So to me, it's a plus.
Yes. Absolutely, it's a plus. I'm so
Yeah.
excited about this starting again, and I'm yeah, I'm so excited.
Me too.
So the next
Yeah.
thing we'll talk about, like planning, is thinking about a clinic and all of that. If you think that's a good thing to try to do,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it is. It is. It is. Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm very sure we are going to get as many Maasai women coming to that clinic. We are going to get many, 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 many of them coming.
I wish you had been with us when we did the HIV clinic.
Yeah.
I wish you had been there. It was so
I
it
wish
was
I was there.
because they've come so far since
Yeah.
then, and yet we were so shocked that the
Yeah.
men were so proud to be tested. And they would like
Yeah.
bring their wives and they were like, take a picture of me being tested. And there are many of the young men in that community that live near Jennifer.
Yeah.
I remember them, but they were
Yes.
so proud to be tested. And
Yeah.
then, but their Swahili was not, it was really challenged. They couldn't speak Swahili, many of them.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't interact with them very much because of the language. But they've moved they've moved so quickly. They're
Yeah.
Swahili and many of them are learning English and it's much easier to interact with them and
Yeah.
they've just come so far in just this time that we first met them and it's so exciting. So, how cool it would be for you to be involved in it.
I can't wait. I can't wait, Cherie. I want to see.
We'll keep praying and we'll keep seeing, but we're hopeful that we can come in January.
Oh, I'm
So,
praying so also. Yeah.
whew, yeah.
I'm eagerly waiting for that.
Me
I'm
too.
eagerly waiting for you.
It's been too
Yeah.
long. We were supposed to
Yeah.
be there in June, you know?
Oh, June and September. Ah,
Yes,
gosh.
exactly. Where were we going to bring you here? In September was what we wanted to happen. But you don't want to come
Anyway,
here now.
we are praying for you, and I hope to see you
Yeah.
on January. Yes, I know
Yes,
you'll
we're praying
come.
for you
I can't
too.
wait to see
Yes.
you.
Well, I love you, Charity, and thank you
You
so
teachers.
much for doing this with me. We'll have to do it again soon. And
Yes.
yes, it's so cool to be
Yeah.
able to see your face.
Yes.
Welcome to our third episode of Talks on Tuesday, this November 3rd, 2020, Election Day here in the United States. And I am speaking this week to Charity Kiriinya, the one, the only, the General Manager of Foothold Operations in Kenya. I recorded this last week at about 4 a.m. and we had some little technical glitches along the way. I wanted to let you know that I will be posting a version of this with subtitles and with some additional kind of footnotes. But I thought this was just too good to delay, and so I wanted to put that out today. But look for that in the next day or so, just if you're interested and following along and making sure you understand all that we're talking about. So without any more being said, let's talk with Charity.